do my best.
Okay.
You okay there, Batman?
Nope.
Okay.
Pretty hot in this.
Yeah.
Not doing well!
Hello! Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Business. The only YouTube channel tells you how drunk you have to be to see a movie. I'm Batman.
I'm Superman.
Green Arrow.
And I'm Bane!
You're what?
I'm Bane!
Huh?
You're a bank?
I said Bane.
Oh,
Bane.
yeah, Bane. Yeah.
From your Bane, from the comic books.
Bane from the comic books!
Yes.
Yes!
He's the guy with all the tubes.
These things!
Yeah.
Ah,
Excellent work, my friend.
thank you.
There's a new kind of mean in him. He is angry and he's hunting.
I didn't kill those men if that's what they think.
Today we're talking Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, but not any version. We're talking about the ultimate version that's 30 minutes longer, and it's 30 minutes better. Before we start this will be a full spoiler review because this movie's been out for like
March.
April, May, June, 3 months.
Like
3
2.5 months, probably.
Whoa.
You went 2.5 years, I'm
Not
gonna say
2.5
2.5
years.
months.
Boy, does time fly.
Yep.
This is the version of the movie that Zack Snyder always intended to be shown in theaters. Superman is more developed, Lois Lane is more developed, even Lex Luthor, his plan is more developed. So, we watched the whole movie, and the whole time like, why the fuck was that not in the movie? And why was this not in the movie? Everything makes so much more sense now.
Just the storyline flowed a lot better. I mean, it totally changed my opinion of this movie going into the first 30 minutes. I actually was on board with everything that was going on.
This version is rated R. Okay? So you like blood?
There.
We got it. You like bones breaking? It's there. You like Superman topless? It's there. You like Ben Affleck bottomless? It's there. Boop. You want to see Batman take a shower? You should watch this movie.
Wet that
That
ass.
ass.
That bad.
Oh boy.
The clips that they cut out that is in this Ultimate Edition ties so much more of the story together.
Fuck, man. Just the editing alone finally got things going the way they should have been.
Yeah, this whole movie flows way better. Not only were they adding extra scenes, but like you said, they moved around a lot of scenes that were already there, but they put them in different spots where it was a more natural edit of this entire movie. Because before the first version, it was kind of choppy. All of a sudden, you just be chopping between different plot points and everything. But it was more gradual progression. They retooled this to make it more believable of why the people would go against Superman. And then later on, when the explosion happens in the Capitol building, they show Superman taking people out of the fire, putting them in ambulances, and then you can start to see the people's ideas of Superman saying like, okay, well maybe he's not that bad, which helps at the end of the movie when he dies, understand more of why people would be at the funeral, because
They care.
yeah, in the original one, you're like, why the fuck would anyone show up to the funeral? Because everyone hated him anyways. But this one, they
Made no
show
sense.
that people were starting to come around to him, and then he sacrificed himself to save all of them from Doomsday, and now that's why they are trying to mourn him.
You had scenes with Clark Kent researching Batman, and they pulled out a scene where he went and talked to the girlfriend of one of the guys that Batman put in jail that got killed, and Clark Kent went to talk to him, and he talks to the wife and gets another side of the story that you didn't even see in the movie.
In the theatrical version, you get a good sense of why Batman doesn't like Superman. They set that up very clearly because of everything that happens in Man of Steel. He's upset that Superman came down and basically destroyed an entire city. You never got a sense of why Superman didn't like Batman. He just kind of read about it in the news and in the theatrical one. He was like, well, this guy seems mean. I guess I'll go stop him. But this one, yeah, he's an actual reporter. He goes to Gotham. He's talking to people. He hears firsthand accounts of people saying they're terrified of Batman. They think he's insane. He's like taking everything into his own hands. And Superman being Superman, he's like, well, this isn't right. You can't just have this guy coming and terrorizing the entire city.
I mean, even like a 10-second snow scene is just added to the movie, and it just you just realize why he's doing something, and that 10 seconds adds to the character development.
It backs up his story. It backs up who he is.
No,
it's little human elements like that
Exactly.
that kind of change your position on him.
I still think that it could have been 2 separate movies. They could have done a Batman movie to kind of like, introduce Ben Affleck as Batman, and then have a Batman versus Superman movie. But at the same time, that extra 30 minutes and those little extra scenes made this movie that much better.
It wasn't like it's 30 minutes of huge scenes. It was more like 30 minutes was spread out between a bunch of little 15-second add-ons.
Yeah.
Some of them were like a minute. Some of them were just like a sentence that wasn't in the original movie that would explain the characters so much more. It would just one person saying one extra thing like, okay, well, so that's why they were there.
Prime example of something that got left out that totally kind of... I saw it in the movie this time, and I thought to myself, shit, man, why wasn't I more confused when I saw it the first time? But there was this whole scene left out with Steppenwolf when they go in to pull Lex Luthor out of the crashed ship, and there he is talking to Steppenwolf, and then he disappears. They left that whole scene out. Fuck, man, that would have made the whole end sequence with Lex Luthor and him talking to Batman and how the bell's already been told and all that stuff. That would have made a lot more sense if they had just showed that 10-second scene of Steppenwolf disappearing. Then now I get it. Oh, that's who's coming. That's who he called. Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. I'm still not okay with this.
Jesse Eisenberg, I think he's an amazing actor. Lex Luthor, great character. Jesse Eisenberg, I feel like, acted the shit out of this character. The problem was the way they went, the way they took it with this character didn't make any sense at all. So maybe since he lost all his hair, he gets a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? He cracks down a little bit more. He says, oh shit, maybe I gotta be like fucking on it.
That's the one problem with this extended cut is that they edited a lot of stuff to fix it, but they didn't edit Jesse Eisenberg out of the movie. So
just remove it.
If they would have just cut him out, just put like a cartoon gnome or something in his spot with just like a South Park mouth, and they would have a total different actor do it, I would be totally okay with it. I don't even care.
It's just the wrong casting, So you don't cast The Rock for a movie that you wrote for Denzel.
I think Zack Snyder he's not capable of making a short movie.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Look at Peter Jackson, all his movies are 3 hours long. They let him put whatever the fuck he wants in the theater. He makes King Kong, it's like 3.5 hours long of them like, they're not even on the fucking island for the first like hour and a half of that fucking movie. Then they put that in the theaters. But then they have Batman v Superman, and they're like, this can't be too long. It's Batman v Superman. Peter Jackson did it, but that was different. They're on a boat. That's dumb as fuck, and you fucking know it. Just make it long if it makes a better movie, because look what the fuck they have now. They have all the fallout of everyone who hated the theatrical version. If they would have released this in theaters, everyone would have been like, it's a little long, but I liked it. But now Rotten Tomatoes has already fucking destroyed the movie because they cut out all of the important shit that made it an actual movie, made the characters mean something. So Warner Brothers, the fuck? I gave this movie a buzzed on my first viewing, and simply based on the fact that I thought this was better, I can't give it a buzzed again, so I am going to go with sober. Okay? Have a comfy chair to sit in because it's a long movie, but I enjoyed this the first time, and this only made it better for me, so sober.
Before, I felt like when your parents were, you brought home a bad grade and your parents were pissed off and you got grounded. I felt like I was the parent. Now I'm just like, I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed. I'm gonna go with a solid buzz.
I didn't have the chance to review the movie the first time. I was
Quaaludes or something, right?
I was really high on Quaaludes. Superman was drugged. The first time I would have reviewed it, I would have gave it blacked out. I had very high hopes for this movie. I felt it was very confusing. There was way too many plot holes. Seeing this version though, which I recommend people see, go see this version. But I have to raise it up. I'm gonna say shit-faced. I like shit-faced quite a bit because just a little bit more than drunk. If you're a little bit more than drunk, you're gonna really enjoy this movie. There's still plot holes, but I'm got high hopes for Justice League coming out. I will go watch that movie.
Well, I mean, I really like the movie.
What?
I thought that I was
Huh?
just
What?
fucking.
Huh?
So many fucking tubes.
What?
Jesus.
All right.
Oh my god.
Can you breathe now?
I was going to the
dramatic.
movie, into it. I was thinking, hey, I'm gonna give this a little buzz. I like a comic book movie. I like a Batman movie. I like a Superman movie. So all those things wrapped into one, I like that. But then I fucking see Jesse Eisenberg. Every time I see his face on screen, it makes me want to drink. Fuck me. So I'm giving this one a drunk. No harm to you, Batman. I love your work. Big fan. You too, Superman. Arrow.
you.
I haven't seen any
Appreciate
of your
that.
shit. Up your fucking show.
My show sucks.
Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and say drunk. Go ahead and enjoy your fucking sloshiness and also enjoy watching these two duke it out and make friends later.
Man made a world where standing together is impossible.
We will. We have to.
Until next time, cheers, motherfuckers!
Boom!